Hello. Hello. Avni.
Yes, hi, you are audible now.
Avni is a student.
Yes, I'm a student.
Last time, I suppose you were there.
Yes, because this is the very first time I have joined the class.
Okay, so last time you were not there, right?
No, I was not there last time.
Because I have a list of 8 who had attended. Okay.
Yes, so it is like for me, I was not aware that classes started last week, and this time I realized that classes are going on, so I thought good to join the class and attend if I had a time to attend it.
Okay, great, great. You are from?
Um, Basically, I live in Sydney, but I am from Lucknow chapter.
Okay. And
Yeah.
will you please tell what do you do and how many years
Yes, so
experience you have?
Yes, so I have 11 years of experience. I have been working as an instructional designer for last 10 years, and currently I work with University of New South Wales as an educational developer.
Okay, University of New South
Wales. It is in Sydney,
Wales.
Australia. Yeah, it is in
Okay,
Sydney, Australia. Yeah.
so you are remotely working.
No. I stay in Sydney only. I work in Sydney only. This course I am doing from like it is
Aha,
five and a
chapter
half hours.
Lucknow. Got it, got it. Got it.
Yes, but I don't live there. I'm just doing this course.
I got it. Yeah. Okay,
And
so we will
prior
wait for 1 or 2 minutes.
Yes, it's hard to manage with the time gap of 5.5 hours, but that's okay. Whenever I get time to attend the
Right.
course, I do join them.
So,
Or I,
it's evening there?
yes, it is evening 7:30 here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have sent my PPTs of first
Okay.
module that had been
Okay.
done last time.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
No, I was literally not aware of that, and due to this time gap, I get no time. So what I do
Ah,
is now I realize that the sessions that have started, maybe like I try to attend the sessions of today, whatever was going on, and maybe
mhm.
whenever I get time during the week when I'll be commuting to my office in the train, I will just have a look,
Okay.
or I will just go through the complete recordings
Mhm.
and the PPTs during that time.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Fine. Yeah, there are, last time there were 8 of them with
Okay.
30 years, 25 years, again 30 years of experience.
Okay.
Some 11 years, and the
Okay.
youngest one, 7 years of experience.
Okay.
Um, I can see one more, Mr. Sharma, Deepu Sharma. Deepu Sharma, you also are attending first time. I think last time you were not there. Avni, will you please mute?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, Deepu Sharma.
Yes, ma'am, I attended previous also last time.
You were not there, no?
Ma'am, I were there.
Okay, how come I have not written? You have joined late?
No, ma'am, on time at
Oh.
2.
I have Jagannath Kulkarni, Mayuri, Mona Lisa, Tamil Selvan, Pallavi, Ganesh Ram, Mansa, Vipul, now Avni. Okay, sorry. You must have introduced again yourself, right? So, will you quickly tell number of years experience and what you are doing and where, which chapter you are from?
Ma'am, I have only 2 year experience in merchandising
Okay. And you are located right now
in Delhi.
in Delhi. Fine. I'm coming to Delhi on 29th. Okay. So now, Mansa, yes, hello. Pooja Singh, were you there last time?
Hi, ma'am. This is my first class.
Yeah, will you please tell something about you? Years of
Yeah,
experience and what you do and where are you from?
sure. I am Pooja Singh. I am from New Delhi and I have total 20 years of experience and I am heading HR for one of the organization in Delhi.
Okay, great. Okay, good afternoon, Jagannath. Good afternoon, Manasa.
Ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah. Last time I had sent the PPTs. Have you seen? I had sent the PPTs to Diploma Office for Module 1. I request whenever you join the class or sometimes you miss or even you don't miss, you do the recap so that, as you know, research methodology is application based. Many concepts are such. You may be knowing first time, and based on this, you are to do the career ahead. Again, you are to do the project also. So anyway, we will start. I will just have a fast recap. Okay, so this was your first module.
Sorry, ma'am. I don't think we have received any PPTs. Correct me if I'm wrong, other students. I don't see any PPTs.
Oh, you have just now seen?
No PPTs are there, ma'am. I was looking for them in the
Oh,
WhatsApp
I have
channel.
sent for 5 days back on
Okay.
Tuesday only.
I checked in the WhatsApp channel. It is not there last week. So
अच्छा WhatsApp पे आते हैं सारे PPTs?
yes, ma'am. They send it over WhatsApp and the YouTube links are also being shared there. I mean the recordings and all.
The recordings and PPTs are खुलेआम सबके लिए सबके because this is our optional subject, right?
No,
But,
I don't think they are there on WhatsApp because
No,
I
they are
keep
not there. That is
on
what I'm.
dashboard have you checked? Or generally where are the PPTs? I suppose they are on the dashboard.
Okay, ma'am. We will check in. I'll check in the dashboard after class, ma'am. Once.
Yeah. And let me know.
Sure,
Okay.
ma'am. Thanks, ma'am.
This is my number 9822590354. Let me know so that if it is not there, then I will talk to diploma office. Okay.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, ma'am.
Pooja, you have raised the hand.
Yeah, ma'am. So I think the PPT was shared. A link is shared, mentioned as work drive, and I can only see one PPT as of now in that group.
One PPT means number of
There is
students.
one presentation for this subject research.
Yeah, because only one module
Yeah,
is
so it has
done.
been
So,
shared in the group.
okay. So others,
On Thursday, it was shared.
Manasa, please note.
Yes, ma'am.
Pooja,
Yes, I just verified. Thank you for sharing that information. Yeah, I just checked. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I can see Malleshappa Bhagwati. Hello, Malleshappa sir. You were not there last time. Okay. Anyway, we have almost completed this module. Very less part is remaining. I will just do the fast recap. Last time we have started with some illustrations or some sayings by famous personalities. So quotations and all that. And with the help of that, we have understood some concepts and some terminologies and mainly the responsibility.
I'm not. Hello, madam. I'm not in this specialized elective, ma'am. Okay.
So leave,
Okay,
sir. Or
yeah.
if you want to stay, you stay.
No. It is not my. Okay.
What
ma'am.
is your
Thank you, ma'am.
optical?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Okay, fine. So, You go through all that afterwards. Those who had not been there, we had invested good amount of time in that. Okay, say another slide was also on the quotations. Then we have done one exercise on the definitions of research. All read the 4 definitions and they selected one based on whatever assumptions or whatever is appealed to them. And we have discussed why they have selected that particular one. And some concepts talk about process, some concepts talk about the responsibility, some talk about managerial decisions. So all definitions are correct. And one point has emerged in the discussion that some may think that for him or her, no definition is complete as such. So they wanted to define, have their own definition of research. Has anyone done that? Okay, no issue. Then,
It may vary depending on the sector and the industry you are working on, maybe, but the research methods remain the same. The ways and the direction to do the research may go different. Basically, prototyping and iterations can happen, but research is a research.
Correct. Research is research. Process is process. In academic research, some process steps are very robust. Some steps had to be there. In industrial research, they can club some steps. They may bypass some steps. They may dilute some steps. They may focus more on some steps. But steps and process is definitely there. It is a systematic inquiry. And definitely it must help in the decision making and mainly the development of mankind. And insights should emerge from research. Objectives we have seen. Then we have seen utility. And then we have seen as an individual what you get from research. So what motivates and what are the benefits. Then we have talked about approaches to research. Some of you, this terminology may be, you may be first time listening to this or reading this terminology, deductive, inductive, and abductive. So deductive research, for the fast recap. This is for the fast recap. Just a second. Yes. So for inductive, from bottom to top, नीचे से ऊपर. First of all, observation. Then observation patterns are established. Some patterns are observed. Then tentative hypothesis is made. And then you go to the theory. In deductive, first theory is there. Then based on that, that means already the research is done. So some theory is there. Some findings are there. Some conclusion is there. For example, Maslow's theory or some leadership theories. On the basis of that, whether the same are applicable or there are different challenges or there new variables have emerged, hypothesis is made, observations are found, and confirmation or rejection. So inductive, we have taken examples on observations, then how observation pattern takes place and how a theory is developed. 3 examples we have taken. One was regarding airlines, second was regarding dogs and fleas, and third was regarding elephants and or animals and water. So no literature is available, no theory is available, so observations are made, patterns are established, and theory is developed. Some limitation is there. It is not completely scientific. So though conclusions are drawn, what will happen to the next observation? 100% we can't predict. Then deductive, we know it starts with theory. Same examples. Theory developed by inductive is tested in different situations. So for that, hypothesis is there, that is tested and checked whether supports or rejects, and based on that, management takes the decision. Limitations, again, it depends on what premises you create, that means assumptions, what basic data you take, it depends on that. Then we have started types of research, fundamental research, very basic generally, very scientific, physics, chemistry kind of research. All these are fundamental. Then applied, application-based, action research, where pre and post results, between there is an action, some changes are made, that is action research. Then causal research. Much research in the industry is causal research to check the cause and effect relationship between variables, right? When cause and effect relationship between variables, the word variables came, we discussed variables. Variable is a content for second module, but frequently it comes, therefore we have studied there only. When we say cause and effect is called as dependent variable. Behind that effect, number of causes. So your problem that you try to resolve, whether it is ineffectiveness of training, whether it is any kind of HR related issue, or sales are down, market share is low, or any kind of problem, tech marketing or any. When something happens and you want to study why, that something is effect, that is called as DV. And obviously, to check why it happens, you have to identify the causes. So all causes are IVs. So generally, DV is 1. Sometimes it is 1 or 2 or 3. But IVs are n number of them. And some may remember, last time I have told, the researcher's expertism, consistency, sincerity, persistence, tolerance is involved in identifying a good list of IVs. Because based on IVs, you develop a questionnaire, whether for survey or for small interviews. Okay. So one example was given for clarification. When we talk about the yield of the crop, that is DV, because it is the effect and it depends on a number of factors. Say manure is IV. Under manure also a number of IVs are to be identified. Time for the manure, quantity of manure, quality of manure, brand of manure, n number of IVs are to be identified under one variable of manure. So yield of crop doesn't depend only on manure. So there will be n number of factors, that is variables. And we have taken the example, stress management of college students. So stress is 1 DV. Stress management is 1 DV, another DV. And the factors that cause stress to college students, those all causes would be IVs. So causal we have studied. As these concepts were new, I have spent amount of time in that. In your second unit, variables I said are there. And one more variable is type of variable is there along with DV and IV, that is extraneous variable. Extraneous variable are the variables which are there, but they are not IVs or DVs. They may be called sub-IVs, minor IVs, but they don't affect the DV much. For example, generally these are the environmental factors. So you are checking, suppose, effectiveness of a training program. So effectiveness of training program is DV, And this effectiveness of training program, tell me important IVs. Are you clear that effectiveness of training program is a topic? That topic itself is a dependent variable because it is an effect, and you are to identify the IVs. Can you tell me few IVs?
Participation level,
Okay, participation level.
uh, prior no working experience or knowledge.
Okay, some demographic factors.
Yeah, some demographic factors, participation level.
Then some important other who was telling about the
Need
experience.
analysis.
Pardon?
Need analysis.
Okay, need analysis. And you only, Avni, you were talking about instructional design. So design of the program. So design of the program, delivery of the program, the methodologies used. These are important
Yes.
IVs, correct?
Yeah.
Now,
Yes. The
look at
complete AD
the,
model, basically.
pardon?
The complete AD model: analysis, design,
Right, right.
develop. The first three
Now,
phase before the implementation and evaluation.
correct. So those IVs are very important for measuring the effectiveness and the causes behind ineffectiveness. But now see, what are the extraneous variable? Last bullet ke pehle. Training room environmental variables, noise, temperature, light, time of the day, sitting arrangement, etc. These are the variables only, but they are not as valuable, as important as we have noticed just now. Therefore, these are not to be included in the research because they are extraneous variable. Otherwise, the research will be very, very diluted and the focus on the important points will get faded, and the purpose for which you are doing the research, that is for increasing the effectiveness, that purpose won't be served. Unnecessary attention will be given to very unnecessary points. If you come across that one of these points may be noise, if your data says, or some observations say, some comments say, that consistently there is irritation due to the noise, then you may take this extraneous variable as important IV. Otherwise not, if consistent observation is there. Those who have done MBA, they may remember Hawthorne experiment, or even though you may not have, some of you may have heard this. Is there anyone who knows Hawthorne experiment of Elton Mayo?
Yes, ma'am. This is by Elton Mayo on the human, so how human beings and valuing them as humans is much more important than treating them as machines.
Yes, the research was on first, as you know, it was scientific management by Taylor, then
Yes,
came Gale.
Taylor.
Then before Maslow, there was XY theory. So people started challenging, appreciating first, and then trying to find out what is more, what is else. So Maslow happened, then some other McClelland came, and last time I have mentioned McClelland. And Elton Mayo was curious to know what is more. People before have talked about scientific way for motivation, then criticized money is not the only motivator. Then industrial psychology was brought much by Maslow, McClelland, and all that. This Elton Mayo, he was curious what is the role of sociology. When two people come together, sociology starts. And people behave in a particular manner which they may not behave when they are alone. So alone they may have different projection. And when they are in a group, some positive, negative, both may happen. So here, hackathon experiment, those who don't know, you go through, it is very interesting. 4 experiments were done, and it was concluded that working conditions, see all these noise, temperature, light, time of the day, sitting arrangement, everything doesn't have effect on productivity when there is good relations, good team building, good sociology amongst the group that is working together. Correct? So, extraneous variables. Then we have also finished cross-sectional variable. Have we? Cross-sectional means whenever only a particular section or a group or subgroup is studied, then it is called as cross-sectional, right? So when you make the study of 100 managers of your company and their leadership styles, or after effects of performance management review, after effects of performance review, if you do this study of a particular group, of a particular company, it is a case study and it is called as cross-sectional research, right? So the characteristics, behaviors, attitudes, some conditions, in that psychology, sociology, economics, n number of things come, relationships are found out, similarities and differences are checked of a particular group so that some commonalities are there and therefore insights are valuable. This is called as cross-sectional research. Okay. It is not a time series research in a sense that at a particular point of time, one point of time, what happens is studied. Correct? So over the time, what changes may come, the research doesn't do that. Okay. Next one, time series research. As the name indicates, the time series, collecting and analyzing the data at multiple time intervals. These multiple time intervals broadly should have the same time gaps or some continuous time element should be there. So daily, weekly, fortnightly, quarterly, monthly, yearly, like this, what are the changes? So generally in sales, in forecasting, economics, such research is done. Okay. And statistical techniques are used here also and in the previous also. So monthly sales report and all that, finding the trend. So secondary database research is also the example of time series research. Exploratory research, generally when you are to find out why, and you want to go into the deep and have the deeper causes so that you can work on the causes, then that is called as exploration. Therefore, it is exploratory research. So it is an investigation, critical analysis, and obviously for doing this, basic knowledge of the concepts is essential. So if you are doing any research related to training effectiveness, your basic knowledge regarding ADDIE model, regarding effectiveness, regarding TNA, regarding instructional design, regarding methods of basic knowledge must be there. And ideas emerge, which you call as suggestions. Then some theories may come up, and through that you may develop new model, new systems, new SOPs. All is possible. Right? You can stop me whenever you want to ask any question or you want to share any example of yours. Okay, next one, primary and secondary research. Actually, these terminologies are very, very rarely used. But as they are in your background material that is provided to you, and there was a question in the last examination of your paper, I have brought this. Primary research is the research which is primary data based. Simple. What is primary data? The name indicates. Primary means which is not secondary. That means the data you and you only on earth have created or collected is called as primary data. How on earth only you are having that data? You are collecting the data through questionnaire regarding the, suppose, awareness and sensitization about diversity and inclusion in your company. What you are collecting? The opinions or perceptions of the managers or employees regarding diversity and inclusion. For this, why you are collecting this data? Because it is observed that in majority conflicts in the company or through exit interviews also, it is noticed that the issues of diversity are there. Diversity and inclusion issues are there. There is cultural quotient related issues. Cultural quotient, have you heard? You must have heard about IQ.
Yes, yes.
IQ, EQ, SQ, you know. SQ is spiritual quotient, that is doing the business or work ethically. That is SQ, spiritual quotient. The recent one is CQ, that is cultural quotient or cultural intelligence. This was not a challenge before globalization. After globalization, you don't work in the team which is very, very similar to your personality. That means in my time, when I used to work in a college, or even wherever I used to go for some other work or research, people used to be like me. Like me means same culture, same language, same religion, broadly same caste and creed. So there weren't much challenges. There were some behavioral challenges, but they were not the diversity related challenges. But now, when you work together, your diversity starts with age, caste and creed, religion, nationality, many other cultural things that are followed relating to religion, and n number of challenges are there. And you have observed that DEI related issues are there. DEI is a terminology very famous these days. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. So what you are doing, I repeat, you are doing the research on DEI and your title is Study of the Perceptions of Managers or Employees of so-and-so company towards DEI. Okay. Now for this, you have developed a questionnaire and you have collected the data. Now this data only you are having on earth, therefore this is primary data. So through survey, note down, primary research methods we are going to study again. But primary research methods, one is survey, which is quantitative. Because questionnaire is big and there is provision of only tick marks. So it is, options are given, they are just to tick mark. So statistical analysis is possible. Another way of collecting primary data is interviews, either individual interviews or focus group interview. And third method is observation. So on Earth, there are only 3 methods, whether it is the research in America or Germany or Japan or India. Primary research methods are only 3. Number 1, survey, which is quantitative. Number 2, interview, which is qualitative because sample is very less. And number 3 is observation, that is also qualitative. So primary research is the research which is conducted with the help of primary data collection methods. As against that, secondary research is the research that is conducted through secondary data analysis. And secondary means second hand. That means you have not at all done anything in this research. Others have done that, and others have published that research in the form of books, in the form of catalogs, in the form of dictionaries, in the form of research papers, in the form of newspaper articles, magazines, and n number of things, journals, reports, database, website, n number of things. In the second paragraph, you can see that. Books, journal articles, reports, databases, websites, got it? So this is secondary research. Now I have used this terminology before. Quantitative and qualitative. So the name indicates quantity. Quantitative research means process of collecting, analyzing numerical data. And numerical data can be collected only through survey, and survey is conducted only through questionnaire. So don't call questionnaire as a method. Method is survey and instrument is questionnaire. Correct? Now qualitative method, the name indicates qualitative, sample is less, and through interviews and observation, the data is collected. Along with that, when you do any literature survey, so last it is given, qualitative research draws data from variety of sources. So people, individuals and groups, that means from people you get information how? In the form of qualitative interviews and observations, and their diaries and reports and all that. Organizations and institutes, so their policies, vision, mission, their reports, n number of reports take place in the company, various texts, settings and environment, objects and artifacts, events and happenings. So these are observed. So qualitative research. So broadly, quantitative means quantity, number is more, statistical analysis is possible. Qualitative, in that primary also comes, that means interviews and observation. Secondary also comes, like policies and reports and all that. For notes, I have given all this, but for understanding, let us see. You just go through. If you have any query, let me know. I have already explained this. That non-probability and probability sample and sampling we are going to study afterwards. Sample means the number. How many and what type? If I am doing research on you ISTD diploma students of semester 3 are the sample type and sample size is 10. Correct? And what type of research I can do on you? I can't do quantitative. Why? Because your number is very small. I will have to do interview and observation. And as I can't see you, I have to do only interview.
I have a question, Miss.
Yes.
So we for focus of research, we have written under qualitative understand.
Hmm.
Understand is not like when we are talking about the quality, understand is not a measurable verb which we have used.
In-depth understanding is the purpose.
Okay.
It is the purpose why qualitative methods are used. For example, for a mall, I had to do the TNA. But TNA, why? Again, there was HR related issues of the employees. Okay. So I collected the data in the form of a survey, which I collected through a specially designed questionnaire. But how would I be able to do the questionnaire when I don't know them and the deeper problems? So what I did, in-depth understanding, I conducted interviews of the owners of the mall, partners of the mall, the key people in the mall. Then I developed that understanding and then I developed the survey questionnaire. So first I did qualitative, then
That is that comes in
quantitative.
understanding or that comes in analysis.
Where is the
Because
word analysis here?
no, I'm just asking you about this word understand, and we could have replaced it with analysis because verbs are
Purpose
used.
is,
That's why.
see, purpose is understanding, process is analysis. I got what
Yes. Okay.
has
Now I
confused.
got it. Thank you.
Huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
Have you understood the second point?
Ma'am,
See.
just one question here. Sorry, Mayuri,
Huh?
can I interrupt? Yeah. So I think what you are trying to also say is that for even to get into analysis, I think collection of data is important. And through the process of interviews and observations, you are collecting the data which you'll analyze later. Is that what
Right.
you're trying to explain? Yeah.
Yes. In both the methods, qualitative and quantitative, you collect the data. Without data, you can't interpret and you can't come to conclusion.
You can't jump directly to analysis. You have to collect
Correct.
the data,
Whether
only
it
then
is
it will be analyzed.
qualitative or quantitative.
Correct.
In qualitative, you can collect data through interviews and observations. In quantitative, you collect data through surveys. In surveys, you don't go into the deep. It is descriptive kind of research. How many? So all demographic and what factors are responsible. Deeper understanding is not there, right? But sample is huge, 300, 400, 500, sometimes in thousands. Okay. I was attracting your attention to point number 2. When you are to use interview and observation, and especially for interview, your involvement is high. As a researcher, you are a participant or catalyst. In quantitative research, once you develop a questionnaire, you distribute the copies, these days Google form, and you are not involved in that. Even though you distribute hard copies, you are not dictating them. So your involvement is not there. Or you may appoint research associates and they may go and collect the data. Correct? There are 5 slides. So we are going in detail. So how the research design is. Research design simply means, because we have in the third or fourth content module, content as research design. In simple terms, research design means which methods you are using for collection of data. Just go through. Consistency point, when you go for quantitative, that is questionnaire survey, same questionnaire has to be given to all the respondents. And in case of interview, though you are asking same questions, you don't know what will emerge and how the responses will come and what questions you may add in that. Correct? So consistency. And today you have another point is, when you are conducting survey, that must be conducted within shorter span of time. Okay, so within 1 month or 2 months or maximum 3-4 months, you should collect the data depending upon total sample size. Regarding interviews, you can conduct interviews pre-survey. Then after the survey, you come to the findings. Then you want some opinion on the findings of some higher up people, policymakers, decision makers. So you may take interviews again afterwards, or some critical incidences you come across, or you are told that this is happening. So you again go for interview. So consistency may not be there. Okay. Pre-tasking point is, it is from the participant point of view. When you go for interview, you are to create the background of the participants. You are to inform them beforehand. You are to share the objectives. In foreign countries, you are to enter into a contract that you are not doing any harm, or you are not doing any behavioral science related or psychology related manipulations and all that. In India, it is not happening. In psychology, definitely such things are taken care. When survey questionnaire is there, it is just a tick mark questionnaire, and therefore no preparation is required. Third slide. Private and public organizations, government give grants and sponsorship. Some companies, some laboratories, some NGOs do the funding. So from that angle, sponsor involvement. Okay, next one. In qualitative, data is in verbatim. Verbatim means the real words that are said by the interviewees. So it is verbal. And sometimes depending upon, so suppose it is fashion designing or something related to sociometric or some some other terminologies are there in psychology. In that, pictorial descriptions are there, for example, in projective techniques and all that. In qualitative, data is very less, and it is interview based, it is in verbatim. Then you are to analyze it properly, and human bias quantitative, it is completely statistics based analysis. As there is the risk, as it is given on the second point on quantitative, maybe the competitors and all that. So even for PhD also, whenever questionnaire is specially designed, customized by the researchers, then copyright is taken of that. So that till the research is complete, it wouldn't be used without the knowledge of the researcher. Okay. Now,
Ma'am,
almost,
one question can I ask, Mayuri here
yes,
again?
of course. Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
So, ma'am, you said for quantitative data analysis, there are technical tools like, let's say, an SPSS or a whatever technical tools people use, and statistical methods are used, like regression analysis or anything. When it comes to qualitative data, which is your interviews or what observations, what is the method to then do the analysis? I mean, is there a scientific tool there, or it is just on the
Human based.
Oh, it's completely on the
See,
individual
human analysis following computer, that means not the statistical tools and all the gimmicks. It is maybe coding may be used, but mainly non-quantitative. Recently, I'm doing one big project of one government department. Okay. I am supporting a person from academics who retired, my friend. She has got that work. Okay. It is regarding TNA of the employees from Maharashtra on a special duty. Okay. The sample. So we started with interview. Okay. Interview of the department people and the related stakeholders. So 4 or 5 interviews we conducted, but that was afterwards. First of all, we observed the trainings that are given because it is TNA. We, as secondary data, we asked the reports, feedback forms of training, and we found that as it is government, they say good. So nothing arrived from that. And then we observed their training programs. In that, we conducted few games. And in that, some topics we gave, and we tried to get some insights on their challenges. Then afterwards, we created a Google form, a big questionnaire, and it was given to around 800 something. Okay. So we got the data. My role, the one who had got them as client, the government department, she had not done such big work or TNA independently before. She is complete statist, though she is commerce faculty, though many PhDs are under her. She loves statistics a lot. And I don't like statistic at all. So hamari jodi very complementary. So I'm answering your query.
Yeah.
In the survey questionnaire, it is closed-ended questions. Closed-ended means where tick marks are done. We will study scaling and all that. So true or false is one scaling, fully agree to fully disagree, 5 levels is the scaling.
Like that. Like
Correct.
let's see. Yeah.
In survey questionnaire, always the last 1 or 2 questions are open-ended.
Correct.
Generally, what is that? Anything else you want to share about whatever
Correct.
topic is. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, out of 800 something, 300 something gave their opinion. Some
Oh.
in 2 bullet points, some in 7 bullet points and all that. Okay. Now, 2 weeks back, whenever we were analyzing and discussing all that, we came to the last question and oh my God, 117, she had made a table
Okay.
of 117 common answers. They are in verbatim. Verbatim means actual words.
Actual words.
And she had a table, big table.
Yeah.
For this sentence, what is the frequency? So for one sentence, 2 frequency. For the next statement, 4 frequency. But for, I just said, but it wasn't 4. 1, 2, maximum 3. And a huge table and 117. I said, what is this? Even though you like statistics, in open-ended questions analysis, we are not using analysis statistically. We are to use the, she said, how shall it be done? I said, statistic is your forte. Qualitative is my forte. Leave it to me. I will develop that into 1 or maximum 2 pages. Got your answer?
Got it, ma'am.
So
But how?
statistically, it can be done, definitely, but
Okay.
it is not serving any purpose.
Okay.
Okay.
But ma'am, the element of human bias in drawing the
Yes,
analysis of
therefore, the researcher is always to be aware that, and therefore, last time I have told, in research, in your project, whether academic or ISTD or any research work that you do in the industry, in the full report, the report writer or the researcher never uses the word I, my, mine, we, us, ours. These words are not to be used because you are not the party of the respondents.
Correct.
So you are to follow that. Otherwise, what happens? Misleading results will come. These misleading results will get converted into wrong decisions. Then what is this all about?
Got it.
But there are unethical people everywhere. Sometimes people want a particular kind of results and they go back and tell to develop the research accordingly or
So
whatever.
manipulated.
And whatever results come, they ask to convert that into different things. I will give one example. I don't know whether last time I had given. I told that I am OD consultant.
Right.
So one company, and my area is total quality management. Under that, a number of initiatives, and one of the initiatives is small group activity, or technical term is quality circles, where employees groups are created, same work related area, grassroots people. In manufacturing, we call them as frontliners, that is workers, and above them there are supervisors. So supervisors cross-functional team and workers quality circles. So 5 to 10 maximum number such circles are established and they are trained on problem solving techniques, how to identify the work related problem, how to analyze that, how to before that select that, and how to come to the results. So in that, Pareto analysis is taught, cause and effect diagram is taught, that is Ishikawa diagram and all that. So some statistical and some non-statistical like brainstorming, PDCA cycle, everything is taught. And then workers become intelligent because they identify themselves. Supervisor not involved. They analyze, they select, they do everything and they become wise. They start using the language that is used by their bosses. Their mindset changes, emotionality reduces, and rationality increases. And then the upper people, if they are not sensitized on that, they get disturbed. These are the challenges. And therefore, I always recommend side by side, supervisors cross-functional teams also start, managerial Kaizen teams or some other name give, and like this, every level should have their own initiative so that they would get opportunity to show who they are. So now Tata Motors, some foundries, some banks were my clients. Now new client came, again famous group in India with many locations all over India. Generally such kind of OD challenges, they come from, not from HR, they generally come from business excellence team, okay, or quality department. So business excellence head office is in Mumbai. So business excellence manager came and visited me and discussed the problem, asked me to show the work that I had done in Tata Motors in Pune and in Sanand also, Ahmedabad, nano car plant. And then we decided to start the work. We started the work at one prominent location, which is 100 kilometers from Pune. So that is excellence manager came to Pune and we went to Nagar. Nagar factory comparatively small and the head there, general manager. Above him, no post. Now this general manager, when we went and it was completely information was completely given that we were going and we are going to start this and that. So I was along with the business excellence manager in the cabin of general manager. So how are you? Chai, pani, sab ho gaya? And then this general manager started saying, we don't have any issues here. So how will they identify? No problems, no issues, because we do only assembly. We don't produce here. So assembly करते हैं, so we don't have any issues. Issues आते हैं supplier की ओर से, issues आते हैं customer की end से. So your initiatives won't work here. And he took me and the manager from Mumbai to the shop floor, showed us and tried to convince consistently that no issues, no problems, no rejection, no rework, no safety issues, nothing. Now remember, OD you have studied. OD is technical plus behavioral. I was confirmed in my mind that these are the things very common. So behavioral science I am to bring here. Then we went again to his cabin. The excellence manager had gone to some now department for some other work or for some different discussion. Now this general manager opened his laptop and tried to show me data and data, completely statistical, convincing me, see, there are no safety issues. There is no rejection, no rework. Fortunately, I don't get impressed by too much of statistics. I am of a strong opinion. When a person does huge makeup, ज़्यादा makeup मतलब कुछ छुपा रहा है. ज़्यादा statistics, overdose of statistics in research means कुछ छुपा रहा है. So I said, okay, I have not crossed him. But we had to use many behavioral science related things. Mumbai has sent the manager, it was to be done. So we did that. And after 6 months, we conducted competitions. 3 teams were selected, awarded, all other teams were appreciated, recognized. And there are all India competitions, first Maharashtra competitions, there their teams shined well. at national level, they took prizes. This happened in 2019. Due to pandemic, it stopped. Before that, it started in Delhi also. I conducted programs in Delhi also. And now a few months back, 2 months back only, the general manager called me and said that I am now retired, but there is a good news that our teams have shined well at international level. Again, platinum award, gold award and all that. And what was his next sentence? मैडम, हमें लगता था कि कोई पोटेंशियल ही नहीं है क्वालिटी सर्कल के लिए हमारे यहाँ, लेकिन देखो कितना पोटेंशियल है, वो उल्टा मुझे ही बता रहा है. So, what was our point? Insights development, data collection, and many other things, and mainly bias. We were talking about bias. So it was the bias of the general manager which was coming in the way of that results.
Resistance to
you-
change, basically.
Correct, correct. I also had done one big TNA in which HR related, marketing related, financial related, many interventions and completely turnaround of the company was to be done. And at the time of presentation was done. But before that, the concerned manager came and said, मुझे पता है आप क्या दिखाने वाले हो. I said, okay, no issue. And whatever changes were proposed for the complete turnaround, nothing happened because the concerned people in the middle, they didn't want it to happen. So bias and all that. Okay. So we were talking about the last one, hybrid research. It's a mixed method. When you use qualitative plus quantitative, it is hybrid or mixed method. You may do qualitative first, then quantitative, or quantitative first, then qualitative, then maybe again quantitative, like that. My PhD, which took place 23 years before, completed, started in 1992, 93. And I submitted in 98 or 99 and got the degree in 2000. So first I conducted broad interviews, very broad interviews, okay, to know whether there is potential for this or not. My sample was not manufacturing, my sample was banks, nationalized banks, SBI and Bank of Maharashtra. So I conduct very broad interviews to check that really the potential is or not. So I got the conviction. But still, I had interviews. They are subject to bias. Therefore, I did opinion survey. You will find this word in the last line. Opinion survey. Just 1-page questionnaire. And in the last part, I just asked whether the doctoral level research in quality circles in bank will help in development or for more benefits to the banking sector and all that. Yes, no, simple. So I got all the yes. And therefore, what was first? Interviews, then opinion survey. So interview is qualitative, opinion survey is quantitative. The survey was only 100 or something. Then I prepared a questionnaire. Questionnaire means quantitative. But when I prepared the questionnaire, I didn't do the complete survey. So again, last line. I conducted pilot survey on 50 to check whether it is easy for them to understand and do the tick marks. Or I need to improve somewhere in the content, somewhere in the language, somewhere in sentence formation. So small quantitative research pilot survey. Then, if necessary, changes are made in the questionnaire. Then main survey. When I found the main survey complete and analysis done, findings were there. With findings, I again went for deeper interview to the higher level post. Okay. And this was a kind of focus group interview, because getting the appointment of very higher level banking officials was becoming difficult. So what I did, my guide was consultant also and faculty also. He was faculty at one of the renowned commerce college. So what we did, we conducted one panel discussion in front of PG students, UG students, their research students, and open for all. And who were the panelists? Top people from Bank of Maharashtra, from State Bank of India, because both were my sample. So through panel discussion, I could get, so panel discussion is not the method. But what was that? Focus group interview. So that was my hybrid research. So as per the need, you can use, I have given some examples, example 1, 2, 3, 4. You can use as per your topic, as per your objectives. You can make any changes. Now for understanding the preciseness of terminology, right side image is there. Image or content is there. Research techniques and methods. By now you must be knowing that in research you can't use any loose language. You have to use the language. Okay. And the terminology which is understood all over the world. Common terminology. So when you say method is survey, method is interview, method is observation. Then what is a technique? Survey is not a technique. For survey, for any method, you need a technique. For survey method, you need a technique of questionnaire. So questionnaire is a technique. Method is interview. Open and closed-ended questions is a technique. Observation is a method, and observation behavioral scale, scorecards, etc. are techniques. Okay. So here we have completed types of research, which was actually of the last time, but for clarity, we have invested good amount of time. This is also of last module only. Afterwards, we can go fast, don't worry. Now, the content in the first module is online research tools. And I'm not a technology person, so I have not used, but my PhD students have used some of these. You are the new generation, many of you. And as you are from industry, you may have got also some training, or you may explore that on your own. So in under 5 elements, we are going to check what are the online research tools. So for project management tools, Trello and Gantt Pro. You just explore on your own. Gantt chart you may have heard. Gantt chart, Gantt is a person's name long back in the history of management. And he has developed Gantt chart. It's a schedule of activities, and activities are tracked over months or over days or period, depending upon the time intervals or time gaps it takes. So you explore this. Then another set of tools, grammar checker tools. My students have used Grammarly, but
It's a good
I
tool,
have not.
Grammarly.
I have not used. Many
Good
people
tool.
use. Pardon?
It's a good tool. In fact, it's
a good tool.
pretty,
Yeah.
it's a generative tool. So I think it helps people to get.
But even
data
though
to
you use the tools, as a first level, you may use it, but then you manually are to read out and check
Correct.
whatever you mean to say is there or not. Okay. because there is American English, British English, and many other things. So Trinka AI is also there. So alternative word choices, unbiased language, academic tone. For that, this Trinka AI is known. And for grammar, punctuation, and all that, Grammarly. Then reference management tools for managing the literature, because we have seen in the first session last Sunday, there are many roadkills on the information highway. So information highway is always jammed. You get huge material, you get huge literature, and the question is of how to manage. So for this, these are the two tools for organizing and all that. If any one of you have first hand experience, do share. You can read it afterwards. You can try your hand in that and you can share your experience next time. Then plagiarism checkers. This is very essential these days. I know the plagiarism tool, which is Urkund. Urkund is the tool the plagiarism checker that is used in academics. And it gives very, very, very detailed report of plagiarism, a third-party plagiarism and your self-plagiarism also. So Dupli checker, second one. Some free, some paid versions are there up to 1,000 and beyond 1,000. And the students these days, even the students at the PG, UG, when they write something, they check the level of plagiarism. Because I teach the research paper to fashion designing, PG. And their syllabus and their assignments require the research essays and research papers. So once they write, they check the percentage and all that. To what extent your plagiarism, that means आपकी चोरी कितनी पकड़ी जाती है, it depends on the database of those checkers. You will find that in Ago's plagiarism checker, they have a database of 91 plus billion web pages and 82 plus million published articles. So it's a challenge. Then journal finder. Always a challenge is which journal is suitable for our topics. Again, take any topic, there are many, many offshoots under which research can be conducted. So to check the right journal, because journals always prescribe which is allowed or which comes in the scope and which doesn't come in the scope. So to find out to what extent your manuscript is fitting, so that you won't have the frustration that your research is not accepted. So for that, journal finders are there. There are many predatory journals these days. Predatory means fraudulent journals. There are many journals who ask for the payment and you pay and you get it published. So there are n number of unethical practices happening in research paper writing and journals. So consistently UGC and universities are publishing the UGC approved or UGC care list journals, but because the reason behind all this predatory and all that is that previously there wasn't any performance appraisal in academics, but now good scales and all that is provided, and it has been become mandatory that so and so number of research papers must be published in the approved journals of UGC, UGC Care, and a number of things. And therefore, predatory journals come up. There are unethical practices like people on some amount give you the ready-made papers, and a number of things are happening. Okay, there is a special department at University of Pune on ethical publishing, and they conduct a number of those who do PhD, for them some credit course of Center for Publication Ethics, CPE. Their courses are mandatory for the PhDs of Pune University. PhD, whether you are doing in engineering or medicine, in philosophy or management, such courses are commonly compulsory. And I am contributor in these courses on ethics in research. Right. Then the last one, social networking for academics, online research tool number 6. Many times the researcher, when one is beginner, doesn't know who are the community or what is the community of researcher. So for exchanging ideas, for collaboration of research, for funding purpose, for connections, for getting samples, they come across a number of problems. And therefore, social networking is available through these sites, academia.edu, ResearchGate, and all that. So you can find 20 millions, 22 millions, 31 millions as the number. So huge amount of research is happening. So we are at the module 2, and module 2, in one line in your syllabus it is given. What is the one line? Right side, scientific method in research or research process. Under module 2 it is written scientific method in research, 8 steps. So it is research process. Though it is written 8 steps, 8 steps are given in your background material. For your exam purpose, go for those 8 steps, but there is nothing like 8 steps or 5 steps or 10 steps. Okay? The steps in number are not important. The steps are important. Okay? So I have listed this from your background material. Though I can immediately start with those 8 steps and finish. In 8 steps, for understanding some terminologies are important. Therefore, on this slide, I have listed down 10 terminologies. And I'm starting with some of the terminologies we have already seen. See number 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 and 9 are completely statistical, but others we are going to see. Once we know all these terminologies, 10 terminologies, then the right side, that is 8 steps, within 10 minutes we can finish. This may go for the next session, but don't worry. Because out of this, number 2, right side, number 2, review of literature. This is the content of our 3rd module. Okay. So let us start on research terminologies. Though in your background material, terminologies start with problem statement and end with hypothesis, there are some more important terminologies that I am going to expose you to for broader understanding. Okay. On that, obviously, I don't know. As it is not in your background material, a question may not be asked, but it is essential for you to understand. When we talk of research method or research process, which is our broad topic of module 2, it is to be a scientific method. Scientific method doesn't mean science-related subject method. It has nothing to do with that. We have seen 4 definitions of research. And in everywhere it was analytical inquiry, systematic inquiry into the issues. This is called a scientific method. So empirical method of acquiring knowledge means scientific method. And we have seen research is conducted for acquiring knowledge. And that knowledge is applied in the workplace or in the policy implementation and all that. We call it as knowledge. So knowledge doesn't mean only information. Knowledge means information plus insight and plus maybe wisdom. Insight, foresight, that and wisdom all is expected in knowledge. So scientific method involves careful observation, applying rigorous skepticism about what is observed. I have told the example of that company, general manager, and the statistics shown by him. I was completely skeptical. So applying rigorous skepticism. And our research questions, doubts start from that. How? One positive skepticism is going on how? Asking questions. Negative skepticism is the real skepticism. Is it really true that we are seeing? Are there any more angles? Is the only limited area is shown? Limited area in the sense of the limited area of the problem, or limited geographical area, or limited part of the geographical part of the company, or what? Given that cognitive assumptions can distort how one interprets the observation. Interpretation has high value in research. If we give the same data to 5 people and ask them to analyze and interpret, analysis will be broadly same. Interpretation will not be the same. Interpretation is an art and craft. Interpretation depends on how you have maturity over the subject, over the concepts, how well you have defined the objectives and hypotheses. So analysis turned into the words in relation to objectives and hypotheses is called as interpretation. We will see many examples of that afterwards. So scientific method, steps are given, just go through. Yes, shall I go ahead? All this we are going to study in detail. Okay, I want now focus more. So scientific method, your research is called to be following scientific method when you do experiments, when you have consistency, when your research has observability, when it is talking about the natural happenings, predictability, testability, and tentativeness is there, which you turn into preciseness. Okay. Empiricism, empirical research, we have talked about. This term is not given in your literature. This is also not given in your background material. Concept is an abstract idea. Last time we have talked about. So, income is a concept. Age is a concept. Supervisor is a concept. Manager is a concept. Like that. In research, Research itself is a concept, hypothesis, objective, sample, population, these are concepts. In training, evaluation, when a particular term has its own meaning, which can be defined, after definition, the abstractness comes down, it's called as a concept. Okay. After concept, the term used is construct. Constructs are concepts only also talked as constructs. For example, I have given in bold: aggression, satisfaction, morale, leadership, motivation, fear, ethics, anxiety, which are more abstract. They may be called as constructs. All these are variables. Concepts and constructs are variables. Another meaning of construct is when 2-3 concepts come together for your research purpose, they may be called as construct. For example, brand is a concept, loyalty is a concept, brand loyalty is a construct. Brand awareness, organization behavior, buyer behavior, customer satisfaction, all these are called as the constructs. When you talk of your topic of research, for example, training effectiveness, it's a construct. Instructional design, it's a construct. Definition is a terminology, but I won't go into that right now. Now, these are the research terminologies that are listed in your background material. So number 1 is a research problem. When they say problem statement, it means a research problem. Remember, there is another terminology, research questions. Both are different, but sometimes synonymously used. I will show you how questions are there, how statements are there. So problem statement or research problem is in paragraphs, maximum 2-3 paragraphs, where the nature of the problem is described. How would you be able to give the nature of the problem? Broadly, you know, but you are to be sure whether there is a problem or not. Again, broadly. So you read material, we call it as literature reviews. You talk to few people, broadly, we call that interview. You basically have some experience. So I'm going to the 5 sources for research problem. So you talk to the, suppose at a particular gathering, at some networking, you got some introduced to some people who are related to your type of work. So you discuss the issues, some challenges. You ask few questions. So this is the initial interview. You already had the personal experience regarding that issue. Then some interdisciplinary perspective. So behind any organizational related problem, there is technical problem. Then there is psychology of the people, their behavior. So industrial psychology comes when people come together and have different team building dynamics and all that. You have industrial sociology there. Then there are some ethics and all that. So philosophy comes in. Some economic issues, financial matters. So commerce, economics, psychology, sociology, philosophy, and your technical domain. Therefore, it is interdisciplinary perspective. And deductions from the theory, you know, the deduction and induction. So you have read from the books and you have drawn some conclusions. So deductions from the theory, literature, relevant survey. With the help of that, you now come to the conclusion कि हाँ अभी इसमें research करना worthwhile है. This is the beginning of research. Problem statement. Statement doesn't mean one statement. problem statement or research problem is written in 2-3 paragraphs. How it is written, I will show you the samples next time. Okay. So we will stop now. Next module's content is comparatively very small, literature review and all that. So this second content, though I will send PPTs, we will continue with this, and second and third we will finish next time. Any queries? If no, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Shall I leave? Shall I
Yes,
close?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.